Hello, welcome back to One on One Sports. I'm joined by Eric Kendall and Tom Waterman to talk about college football. Boys, this season has been chock full of surprises and upsets, just kept coming this past weekend. Eric, in your mind, what was the most surprising defeat of the weekend?
Well, for me, there were a lot of upsets this weekend, but I got to say Penn State at home in prime time, the whiteout, all that stuff, the revenge of beating Iowa, the team that got them last year from their national championship run. It was just disappointing for me as a Big Ten guy. I like to see a flagship team like Penn State get that win, and it was just really disappointing for me. That is the word, disappointing.
As big of an upset as that was, I have to go with number 6 Cal losing to Oregon. They lost 42-3, and this was a Cal team that returned 17 starters from last year and quite possibly have the best running back in the country in Javid Best. I mean, they just got killed. This Oregon team beat them at every single facet of the game. Jeremiah Masoli had 3 touchdowns on the day after having 0 in his first 3 games this season.
Yeah, you know, some crazy stuff happens in Eugene. I mean, that's why you can't count out the Ducks when they're at home. That's a tough atmosphere to play in.
I agree. Now, those aren't the only great games this past weekend. Which game do you think was the best game of the weekend?
Well, for me, it's I had a little trouble with this one, but you got to say Houston over Texas Tech. At Houston, a huge win for them. Case Keenum is putting up big numbers. Their coach, Kevin Sumlin, he's really got that team on the right track in his second year. But the difference for me is the defensive squad. Remember, they're the team that clinched that Oklahoma State game in Stillwater earlier in the year with that pick 6 for a touchdown. And they held Texas Tech under 30 points, which the Texas Longhorns couldn't even do last year.
See, it's got to be that Notre Dame comeback win against Purdue. They came back, won 24-21. I mean, Notre Dame's got the high-profile coach. They've got the Golden Boy quarterback. They've even got touchdown Jesus and Lou Holtz on their side. But, I mean, this team, Jimmy Clausen was playing on one leg. He sat the majority of the second half, came back, led his team down the field, found Kyle Rudolph with 25 seconds left in the game to win it. It's got to be Notre Dame.
The SEC is always a powerful conference, and right now 4 of its teams are undefeated. Which one has impressed you the most this far?
To me, it's got to be Alabama. I mean, currently they're ranked number 3 in the country. They have what possibly is the most impressive win on the season when they defeated Virginia Tech down in Atlanta. And I mean, they're led by Greg McElroy, who just limits his mistakes. He's got 7 touchdowns, only 1 turnover so far this year. They've got a great running game, and they currently have the number 2 ranked defense in all of college football.
Yeah, if I would have told you no Andre Smith, no John Parker Wilson, no Glenn Coffey, and I would have said their offense would be more productive, you'd have said you're crazy. But that's what it's been, and Trent Richardson is a great back, true freshman impact.
The SEC is always a powerful conference, and right now 4 of its teams are undefeated. Which team in the SEC has impressed you the most this far?
To me, it's got to be Alabama. They're currently ranked number 3 in the country, and they have what quite possibly is the most impressive win this season with victory over Virginia Tech down in Atlanta. And I mean, they're led by Greg McElroy, who just limits his mistakes. He's got 7 touchdowns, only 1 interception so far this year. They've got a great running game, and they've got a defense that's currently ranked number 2 in the country.
Yeah, if I would have told you they wouldn't have Andre Smith, no John Parker Wilson, no Glenn Coffey, and said their offense would have got better this year, you said I was crazy. But that's exactly what they've done. They've become more productive, and they got a freshman factor back in Trent Richardson, who's really caught on early in college.
I couldn't agree with you more, but watch out for the old ball coach down there in Columbia, South Carolina. He's got the Gamecocks playing well this season. All right, I know it's still early in the year, but before I let you two go, who are your Heisman favorites at this point in time?
Right now, I've got to go with Case Keenum out of Houston. So far, he's got 2 high-profile wins against Oklahoma State and Texas Tech. He's got 8 touchdowns. He's completing almost 70% of his passes. And moving down my list, I've got Tim Tebow. I mean, he's the best player on the best team, and that usually gets you up there in the conversation. And then I have Jimmy Clausen. I mean, if it weren't for the heroics by Tate Forcier in that game, I think you'd be hearing Jimmy Clausen as the favorite right now.
Yeah, I would have to go, first of all, with Colt McCoy. He's one of the only top 3 coming in that hasn't hurt himself, literally or figuratively. He hadn't done anything to take himself down from that top spot. But 2 names I want you to remember is Tony Pike out of Cincinnati. He's really gotten that Cincinnati team going. They're head and shoulders above everyone in the Big East. And also Tate Forcier. Eventually, you're going to have to talk about this freshman as a Heisman contender. He just knows how to win.
That's true.
I agree with both of you. Tom, Eric, thanks for stopping by, and hopefully we'll see you both soon. Stay tuned to One on One Sports, because when we come back, our Mike Feldman sits down with Andy Harris to give their outlook on the 2009-2010 NHL season.